Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Josh and Emily are visiting Emily's parents this weekend, where Josh will propose. He's nervous, but not about the ring. Well done, Josh. Well done. Chase is proposing to Ashley at the resort where they first met. Ashley was vacationing with friends, but Chase ended up being her best friend of all, plus some. Every diamond tells a story, but there's no story like yours. And there's no diamond like a Greenberg's diamond. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you, with a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
All have dreams. At South Dakota State University, we dare to dream big. From the arts to the sciences, students and faculty discover what is possible and solve complex problems, challenging ourselves to think differently and impact our world. With SDSU, reaching to the stars starts on solid ground. Experience our elevated approach to education that prepares students to walk toward their future and build something greater.
This guy had more issues with his eyes. The minute he first came out of surgery, he walked in with a huge grin on his face, and for the first time since he was a little kid, he could see perfect.
Going to Vance Thompson Vision was an easy experience. If you're going to trust your eyes to anybody, trust them to a leader in that field.
When it came time for me to make a decision about where we were going to go for my LASIK surgery, there was no question that it would be Vance Thompson Vision.
Starting the First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you. With a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first and only local news in prime time. 1 hour to focus on the headlines of the day, plus breaking news as it happens. 1 hour to provide in-depth coverage of the biggest stories, alerting you first to what impacts you and your family's safety. 1 hour to give you a more detailed look at your first alert forecast, updating you every 5 minutes so you can prepare for tomorrow's forecast tonight. Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first alert.
It is a top 5 tilt on a Tuesday night in Brandon as Brandon Valley hosts Mitchell in a rematch of last year's state championship game in a high-stakes battle of high school basketball. It's our Avera Game of the Week on the simulcast. Fox Sports 98.1 Radio, Metrosports.tv, the Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt, and it's that time of year, Brad. Before we get the March Madness, it is February Fury, and each of these two squads tonight down to their last 2 games. Mitchell comes in ranked number 2, the Lynx number 4, and a lot of awesome players who were on that floor in the title game last year will be right in front of us here tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, you've had this game circled on your calendar ever since last March in the Denny Sanford Premier Center. These two played one of those classic state championship games that came down to the wire. Mitchell came out on top, and yeah, I mean, Brandon Valley and Mitchell both had terrific seasons, only 5 combined losses between these two teams, and it wouldn't surprise me to see them tangling again in the state championship game again this year, but if that's the case, we're going to get an awesome preview here tonight.
Yeah, we get the rematch, and it could be a preview of another. And hello, John Gaskins, Brad Newitt. I figured I could wear something where you could see me from up there, and boy, it sticks out in this crowd. A lot of red and a lot of black and some yellow in the audience tonight as well. This is one of the bigger high school gyms in all of South Dakota. It seats about 2,000, and it's as full as I have ever seen it, partly because Brandon Valley has 2 top 5 ranked high school basketball teams. They're good. The community supports it, but also, as we well know, Mitchell kind of loves its basketball, and they brought a few fans down I-90 as well.
Absolutely. They've turned out. They always support this Mitchell Colonels team when they go on the road, and no exception tonight. And, of course, I mean, like we mentioned, this is a game that both these programs have looked forward to. They only play once during the regular season. This is it. And kind of cool, I think, that it's kind of near the end of the season, too. There's a lot on the line still for seedings in the state tournament in the SODAC 16, so this game's going to be a big one from that, too.
For sure. And while this is definitely our Avera game of the week this week, there's some others going on in South Dakota high school basketball, so let's take a look at our other games, brought to you by Augustana University. Find your bold at Augustana. Huron taking on O'Gorman tonight. That's a doubleheader at the Knight Gymnasium. The Lady Knight girls, no surprise, won their 43rd in a row, the number 1 ranked team in the state, and now it's the Tigers and the Knights tipping off. Interesting matchup at Washington tonight. T-Area holding its own in year number 1 in AA ball.
Yep.
Jefferson hosting Pierre tonight, teams that are just scraping for points. And then Roosevelt hosting Aberdeen Central.
Yeah, so I mean, you got a full slate there, and like I said, a lot of these teams, John, jockeying for those positions and starting to think about, okay, who are we going to match up with against here in about 10 days in that SODAC 16 game, which, of course, is the all-important game to try to get to the state tournament, which is out in Rapid City this year for AA basketball. And so there's a lot of movement still to happen and some jockeying that can go on.
That slate brought to you by Augustana. Find your bold at Augustana, where hands-on learning, a vibrant community, and diverse opportunities prepare you to lead and succeed. Only one top 5 team other than the 2 that are here tonight in action, but there's only 5, so that's 3 out of 5 playing tonight. Let's take a look at that top 5 poll, brought to you by Touchmark at All Saints. Lincoln Patriots' only loss this year were to these Mitchell Colonels at home. They're 17-1. Mitchell a close number 2 at 16-2. Harrisburg third at 16-3. Brandon Valley coming in tonight at 15-3 is number 4. And O'Gorman, the 5th spot, which has been rotating a lot this year, at 12-6.
Yeah, I think you look at the top 4 teams again. Lincoln 1, Mitchell 2, Harrisburg 3, Brandon Valley 4. And all 4 of those teams are very, very competitive with each other. The one maybe exception was the Harrisburg-Lincoln game got a little ugly. But that was the second game of the year, and I think Harrisburg's changed, improved a lot, found their identity. To my point, they came in here and beat Brandon Valley last week very handedly, and that's what moved them up to 3rd in the poll this week.
I mean, the Tigers, a lot of people forget, last year were a 20-win team and lost narrowly in the semifinals to Brandon Valley. They could have easily been the state champions, and it certainly feels like at least those top 4, you've got a few who could win it all this year. Lincoln, though, that one loss to Mitchell changed some things because the Patriots were just blowing teams out by an average of 20 points per game in their first 10 contests, and Mitchell came in there, won by a baker's dozen, and kind of sounded the alarms for themselves and these other contenders, but Lincoln has gone right back and won 7 in a row. Do you feel like it's a solid number 1?
I think it is, but I think Mitchell showed that Lincoln's got some vulnerabilities, right? And Mitchell went in and won at Lincoln, out-physicaled them, won on the glass big time that night, and And I think Lincoln learned a lot from that game, but there's no question. I mean, Lincoln's probably got the best offensive firepower of anybody in the state, and when they're clicking, they're a really tough team to beat.
Well, we're going to learn a lot more about number 2 Mitchell and number 4 Brandon Valley. The tip is just over 15 minutes away. As you can see, tonight is senior night for the players and for some other students here at Brandon Valley. We'll have the team profiles, players to watch, keys to the game, and more coming your way on this Tuesday night of high school basketball, our Avera Game of the Week. Fox Sports 98.1, Metrosports.tv, The Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part. Earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Make Dakota News Now part of your morning routine. Eric Thorstensen gives you the latest headlines and breaking news you need to know before you walk out the door. And Aaron Doudna has your first alert forecast so you can plan for the day, and several days in advance with our 10-day forecast. Get up-to-the-minute news and weather and start your day with a little fun. Every weekday morning from 5 to 7 on Dakota News Now.
This guy had more issues with his eyes. The minute he first came out of surgery, he walked in with a huge grin on his face, and for the first time since he was a little kid, he could see perfect.
Going to Vance Thompson Vision was an easy experience. If you're going to trust your eyes to anybody, trust them to a leader in that field.
When it came time for me to make a decision about where we were going to go for my LASIK surgery, there was no question that it would be Vance Thompson Vision.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
A rematch of last year's state championship game, perhaps a preview of this year's affair. Number 4 Brandon Valley at 15-3, hosting number 2 Mitchell at 16-2 tonight in Brandon. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt on the Avera Game of the Week. The simulcast is on Fox Sports 98.1 Radio, Metrosports.tv, the Outlaw Channel 13.2 on television, and at DakotaNewsNow.com. And Brad, it's time for our South Dakota State University team profiles, and there's going to be a lot of impressive things about to pop up on screens for both teams, starting with the Mitchell Colonels. They're the defending state champs, ranked number 2. Score 56, give up 48 a game. Coming off a 9-point win against Pierre on Friday. As you mentioned, though, they lost handily to number 3 Harrisburg recently.
Well, yeah, actually that game was a little bit ago for Mitchell, but Harrisburg has wins over Mitchell and Brandon Valley. But yeah, you look at their 2 losses, they came basically within the same week, where they lost to Harrisburg, and then that was at Harrisburg, and then lost a home game actually to Huron. Those are the 2 losses. Probably maybe the most notable thing is that they have the win over the number 1 ranked team, Lincoln, right? They're the only team in the state to beat the Patriots, and we know this Mitchell team's got great experience, especially at the guard spot. Starts with Marcus Talley and Colton Smith, 2 guys that were huge parts of the state championship team last year. And this is a team that can really get after you on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, holding teams to 48 is impressive in this day and age of a little bit more up-tempo basketball that we see typically.
They have won 10 games in a row. That Harrisburg loss all the way back on January 7th, a week later by 9 to Huron on January 14th.
Yep.
So that is long in the rear-view mirror. And Riker Kreitzfeld is amazingly in his 4th year as the head coach. He is still not yet 30 years old. He guided the Colonels to their first state title in 19 years, but the 17th in school history last March by a point over these Brandon Valley Lynx. He really does feel they still have yet to play their best basketball. They've been an up-and-down team all season that consistently plays to the level of opponents, but that's good news for tonight because they've got the number 4 ranked team, Brandon Valley, so I don't know if that would be playing up to the Lynx, but certainly at a very high level. And speaking of number 4 BV, 15-3 on the year, now ranks number 4. It's been as high as number 1.
Yep.
That was after Mitchell knocked off Lincoln and Brandon Valley had been sitting at number 2. But the Lynx have lost 2 of their last 3 games. Very similar numbers scoring-wise to Mitchell, 58 per game and giving up 49. And they are the ones that lost recently to Harrisburg. Tigers are now ranked number 3. And this was a 13-point loss for Craig Nelson's crew, so they're working through some things as well.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't that close. Harrisburg dominated that game and was up double figures in the first half and never looked back. And that was here at Brandon Valley. And you can see Brandon Valley only scored 39. And if there's one thing that this Lynx team has struggled with this year, I think it's just been offensive consistency, right? There's some games they're really scoring it and they're flying up and down the floor. They've got some really athletic players. We're going to talk about Landon Delaney here in a second, one of the most athletic players in the state. But sometimes they've really struggled when the perimeter shot hasn't fallen, and that was the case against Harrisburg. I will say this, though. They gave Lincoln all they wanted here about a week ago, and the Patriots were losing at halftime to this Brandon Valley team and then had to really rally in the second half to get the win.
This is a team whose defense has been consistent all year. Yeah. Greg Nelson loves that. He's a defense-first kind of guy, experienced coach. 4th year at Brandon, taking over for the legend Brent Deckard. And before that, 9 years at Sioux Falls, Washington for Greg Nelson, where he finished runner-up twice. And this is his team's 2nd biggest test of the season. You mentioned some players to watch, so let's take a look. And sometimes we like to go avant-garde on these picks. A little off the board, but not this time. We're going for the 2 very obvious ones. Marcus Talley, probably the Gatorade Player of the Year, leader or favorite, 18 points a game, a senior, and next year will be at Augustana in Cody Schilling's program. Makes half of his shots and over a third of his shots from beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, a very efficient score for a guard to shoot near 50%, averages 18. You see what he did against Washington, though, last week. He had a triple-double. He had 23 points, 10 boards, 11 assists in their win against the Warriors. This kid does it all. And Marcus Talley's been playing varsity basketball since he was a freshman at Mitchell and has just been a terrific, growing player that's gotten better and better year after year, and he's going to have a great college career like you mentioned at Augustana.
He's walking to the bottom of your screen if you're watching this on Metro Sports TV. He just walked into his own triple-double graphic. He is smooth as silk, man. He makes it look so easy. How does he do that, and what has he added to his game?
Well, he's terrific with the ball in his hands, right? So he can really create off the bounce. This team does a great job setting ball screens and letting him make decisions with the ball in his hand. But he can also really shoot the basketball as well. So he's just got everything you want from a guard, right? Can score it with the bounce, can shoot it. Just a tough kid, too, I think, on the defensive end.
Our player to watch for Brandon Valley is also there. Leading scorer, Landon Delaney, averages 15 per contest, almost 2.5 assists a game, 56% from the field, almost 40% from beyond the three-point arc. And Brad, this isn't even his primary sport.
No, he's going to South Dakota State to play wide receiver for the football team. And he had a terrific senior season on the gridiron for Brandon Valley as well, but he's having a terrific basketball season too.
Also a state 200-meter track and field champion as a sophomore.
Yeah, I mean, he is just one of the best athletes you're going to find in the state, bar none, right? And he shows it on the basketball floor. He can really get up and down. He's great in transition. The ball's in his hands a lot. Brandon Valley really needs Landon Delaney to have a good game tonight offensively if they're going to knock off Mitchell.
You see the 56% from the field, 39% from three-point range. Riker Kreitzfeld, the Mitchell coach, says that's the thing that's improved about Delaney. He's always been a great athlete, but he has really improved his shooting. So the stage is almost set. We'll have our keys to the game, the final remarks before tip-off, and more when we come back for the very highly anticipated Avera Game of the Week. Number 2, Mitchell. At number 4, Brandon Valley on the radio, Fox Sports 98.1, on TV, the Outlaw Channel 13.2, and online at metrosports.tv and dakotanewsnow.com.
Time is valuable.
You shouldn't have to wait for the weather forecast.
That's why the First Alert Weather Team is giving you weather every 5 minutes in every newscast.
Every 5 minutes in the morning?
Every 5 minutes in the evening.
And every 5 minutes on the weekends, too.
Focusing on the weather that affects you.
You'll always get the First Alert so you can plan ahead.
First Alert weather every 5 minutes. Only on Dakota News Now.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Finding a place to belong is everything. It's where you can make a difference, where you're heard, where you have a team that supports you, and the benefits you deserve. At Avera, you can find that place. You belong at Avera. Apply today. Avera.org/careers.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank. Member FDIC.
Josh and Emily are visiting Emily's parents this weekend, where Josh will propose. He's nervous, but not about the ring. Well done, Josh. Well done. Chase is proposing to Ashley at the resort where they first met. Ashley was vacationing with friends, but Chase ended up being her best friend of all, plus some. Every diamond tells a story, but there's no story like yours. And there's no diamond like a Greenberg's diamond. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest.
News now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls. Your first and only local news in prime time. 1 hour to focus on the headlines of the day, plus breaking news as it happens. 1 hour to provide in-depth coverage of the biggest stories, alerting you first to what impacts you and your family's safety. 1 hour to give you a more detailed look at your first alert forecast, updating you every 5 minutes so you can prepare for tomorrow's forecast tonight. Dakota News Now at 9 on Fox Sioux Falls, your first alert station.
Starting the First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
The long-anticipated wait is almost over. It is number 2 Mitchell visiting number 4 Brandon Valley, an ESD showdown, a top 5 tilt, and a rematch of last year's state championship game captured by the Colonels by 1 single point. We're almost full here at Brandon Valley High School. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt on our Avera Game of the Week. And just before tip-off, what do we expect?
I think this game's going to be electric tonight. I mean, we've got a great crowd in here. Brandon Valley trying to kind of right a few wrongs, right? They had a rough game against Harrisburg last week. They want to get the ship pointed in the right direction heading into tournament time. And Mitchell trying to secure that number 2 seed, I think, heading into the Sodak 16.
Our Vern ID Motor Cars keys to the game.
Well, I think for Brandon, they got to control the tempo. They do not want to let Mitchell get out in transition with their guard play. Mitchell can really get it rolling. We talked about Marcus Talley and how well he can really play with the basketball in his hands. And so I think Brandon Valley's got to be a little careful about that. They probably don't want this to be too much of an up-and-down affair. And I think when you look at Mitchell, they want to really try to dominate the glass. Brandon Valley's had some games where they've really dominated the old boards. Mitchell wants to come in here and win that rebounding battle. They did that in their win over number 1 Lincoln. They want to try to replicate that tonight.
For sure, easily Mitchell's biggest win of the year. Their only win against top 5 teams in South Dakota or those receiving votes. But Mitchell has won 10 straight games, and that's after losing 2 of 3 in a middle stretch of the season. They're playing their best basketball at the right time of the year, averaging 56 points a game and giving up 48 for 4th-year coach Craig Nelson, who before this stint was 9 years the head coach at Sioux Falls, Washington. And before that, he was an assistant under the legend Brent Deckert here in Brandon. Starting lineup's about to be introduced, Brad, and the Colonels beat these Lynx 46-45. State final last year in Rapid City. For Mitchell, it's 17th state championship, but it's first in 19 years. Their 4th-year coach, Riker Kreitzfeld, has woken up the echoes in a place that just absolutely loves its basketball. And the lineup's being introduced for Mitchell right now. They just introduced Colton Smith, a 6'3 junior forward, 16 points, 9 rebounds a game. We're going back and forth and doing that back and forth starting lineup thing. You don't see that very often. That is keeping our production team, headed by Chad Berger, on its toes for sure. I'm just going to go through both teams. Marcus Talley, the leading scorer for Mitchell, 18 points a game, one of the leaders in the state, and Augustana Viking to be a 6'1 senior guard. Landon Solik is a 5'10 senior, averaging 4 points per game, also in the backcourt. And Sutton Thompson, a 6'1 senior, rounds out the 3-guard lineup. Gavin Hinker in the post, a 6'5 senior averaging 10 points and 7 rebounds a game, along with Colton Smith, whose name you just heard, a 6'5 junior forward, 16 points, 9 rebounds a game. Landon Delaney, the player you just saw introduced for Brandon Valley, a 6'2 senior, averaging 15 points, 6.5 rebounds a game. He's joined in the front court by Briggs Knutson, a quarterback for the football team, a 5'9 junior, 6.5 per contest. And then a 3-post lineup for Brandon Valley. Mock Mayen, a 6'3 senior, plays small forward, 10 points, 6 rebounds a game. Austin Dowd, a 6'4 sophomore, 7 points, 5 boards per contest. Aiden Zur, a 6'2 senior, averaging 6 points per game. It's Mock Mayen at 6'3 for Brandon Valley. Gavin Hinker at 6'5, a senior for Mitchell, in front of nearly a full house. Final week of the season, our final Avera game of the week, and the Colonels win the toss. And on the radio, go from right to left. Fox Sports 98.1 on the radio call. Gavin Hinker down low on the left block on a double team. 6'6 big man muscles his way into an easy lay-in on the left glass to draw first blood.
Yeah, right away Mitchell goes inside and gets a bucket from their big guy.
Brandon Valley returning 3 of 5 starters from the state runner-up last year. Mock driving the left rails and swatted immediately by Gavin Hinker. So,
actually, I think Colton Smith got that one, yeah.
They were both right there in the vicinity, 6'5 and 6'6, one of the more talented front courts in the state. So Brandon Valley inbounding underneath on its own baseline. They get it into a kind of a right-handed baby hook that's missed off the front iron. And the Colonels get the board. Colton Smith slashing for the right wing. Right-handed lay-in is good. Man, nice athletic move. 4-zip Colonels early on.
Well, you'll see Colton Smith really attacking the rim. Strong, athletic player for Mitchell.
Landon Delaney pulls up left of the arc for 3. Missed it. Mayen grabbed the rebound between 2 Colonels, lost it, saved on the baseline Delaney, but he flung it right into the hands of Landon Solik for Brandon Valley. The long outlet to the right wing and a drive from Parker Mandel down the right side to make it 6-0. Mitchell on fire to start the game, and a timeout Brandon Valley just 72 seconds in.
Well, John, one of our Vern ID keys to the game for Brandon Valley was what? Control the tempo, and they're not doing it here to start this game, as Mitchell's gotten 2 of their 3 baskets in transition on fast breaks. Brandon Valley not getting back defensively, and so that's really hurt them when they aren't getting set defensively, and Mitchell really taking advantage of that.
Even when they are kind of set defensively, that Vance Thompson vision replay we just saw with Colton Smith just barreling right into 3 different links, and the Colonels also getting into transition. And Parker Mandel providing a spark. He's usually off the bench for Mitchell. The Lynx in front of a nearly full home crowd. White jerseys and shorts, scarlet red numerals, black trim. Mitchell in their traditional road blacks. Black jerseys, black shorts, yellow numerals, no trim, double stripes down the shorts and jerseys, an old school look we all love. Landon Delaney for Brandon Valley, dribbled to the right elbow on Marcus Talley, popped it back out into the time lane to Knutson. The point guard dribbles right wing, back up top Delaney, looking for a screen, gets one, moves slightly left, bounces it inside the left wing, and now a flip inside, a wide open bucket for Aiden Zur, and the Lynx finally have 2 on the board. It's 6-2.
Well, Mitchell switching a lot of screens, but they didn't communicate, and they didn't get one of them switched correctly, and an easy bucket for BV.
Mandel left wing, man-to-man Brandon Valley defense. Hinker takes a lob, left block, puts it on the deck, back turning. Now the baby hook right hand from 5 missed. Rebound, though, offensively for Mandel, brings it out to the left wing, and Mitchell gets a fresh 35. 2 minutes in, up 6-2. Colton Smith on the deck left hand, pulls up left wing, got the 3-pointer.
Colton Smith, 5 points early on in this game. He averages 16, and the junior on fire to start out.
Landon Delaney pulls up inside the right arc, off the right rim into the corner and out of bounds. And it is Mitchell ball up 9-2, 5:35 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, for Brandon Valley, Landon Delaney's missed his first 2 shots, their leading scorer. And, John, they're going to need him, right? He needs to be able to shoot the ball well from the perimeter tonight.
Not too many open bleachers in a gym that seats 2,000. and a lot of fans from Mitchell contributing. Smith, the baseline J over Machin from 15, rattles in and out. Delaney, the rebound for Brandon, one of the fastest players in the state. Barrels down the right rails, has the shot blocked by Hinker. Talley comes up with it. Mitchell in transition right to left. The Lynx keep up, but Talley turns up the Jets. Mid-post, kicks it left wing Mandel. Now Talley again. Lobs inside to Hinker. One bounce and goes up and is fouled. He'll go to the line. Mitchell with a 9-2 lead, and Hinker drawing the hack on the arm from Brandon's Mock Mayan.
Yeah, our Vance Thompson vision replay just showing you how good Hinker's been in this game, establishing the low post position, and as Brandon Valley brought help, they had to foul the Mitchell big man.
Hinker line drives his first attempt off the back iron. 61% free throw shooter on the season. 6'5 senior, a starter on last year's state title team that beat these Brandon Valley Lynx by 1 point in the final. Second free throw is a swish, and it's a 10-2 Mitchell lead.
Yeah, Brandon Valley needs to get some confidence on this offensive end. They need to see the ball go through the net a few times. Again, they struggled against Harrisburg here last week to score the ball.
Griggs Knutson, quarterback of a state runner-up football team, dribbling to the right wing. Colton Smith giving him some space, and now on the right wing after the Knutson pass, Marcus Talley.
I think that got Solik inside.
Okay.
Yeah, holding in the low post.
Thank you. So Solik's first. And Mitchell's first team foul. Inbounds pass underneath. Goes to the left block. Mayan trying to go up with Smith and fires it way back near the timeline to Knutson. He dribbles left wing, hands it off to Mayan, puts it on the deck, slashing into the lane. Smith got a hand on it. Pandel got the steal across half court. And Brandon Valley's defense catches up, sets up man-to-man. Talley with the ball in his left hand. Kicks it left wing three on the way for Solik. That's down. Landon Solik makes it a 13-2 lead for Mitchell on the road.
Wow, what a start for Mitchell. They've already hit 2 First Dakota three-pointers in this game.
Man-to-man Colonel defense. Knutson hounded by Solik, left of the key, bounced it, and Mandel got a hand on the bounce pass that was attempted for Aiden Zur on that baseline. And so Mitchell will inbound it on the corner. All kinds of Mitchell hands on the basketball early on.
Yeah, they've been active on this end of the floor. Colonel's really got the defensive pressure dialed up here.
Off the inbounds, Delaney on the left wing. Lobs it inside, couple dribbles, a spin move underneath, and there was nowhere to go for Austin Dowd. He had Smith and Hinker lording over him, but he's bailed out by a foul. A hack on the arm on Gavin Hinker, and Zur to the line.
Yeah.
Check that down.
You watch the Vance Thompson vision replay. You'll see Hinker just didn't stay vertical. See his arms come down there on our replay, and that's why he got whistled for the foul.
Didn't love it, but if only he could hear Brad Newitt's explanation, maybe he would be less upset.
Yeah, film doesn't lie, right?
So Austin Dowd makes his first free throw, cuts the Colonel lead to 13-3. Dowd just 50% on the year. Before that free throw, he's now 10 of 19, make that 11 of 20.
Yeah, Dowd, though, a sophomore for Brandon Valley, that's really shown some nice improvement this year as he's gotten a lot of varsity time.
Quite the assignment tonight at 6'4" in the jungle with Hinker at 6'5", and Smith at 6'5". Hinker's actually 6'6". So Mitchell with the ball up 9. 3:30 remaining first quarter on the road.
Brandon Valley switches, John, to a zone defense.
Smith, a nice fake move down the right baseline, but an offensive foul whistled on Mitchell, and it is on Colton Smith. What did he do?
I think he just lowered his shoulder. Like I mentioned, BV switched to the zone, so Smith tried to drive it. There was no room for him to go along that baseline.
So the Lynx ball, chance to get a run going. Landed Delaney at the top of the Mayan on the right wing, into the lane. And out of bounds. I think Parker Mandel got a hand on the ball again. Mandel, not usually a starter. 6'3 senior. Got the start tonight. He's been in there the whole way. Delaney the inbounds for Brandon Valley. And it's tipped and intercepted by Marcus Talley. Talley blazing across the timeline. Again, Brandon Valley rushes back on defense. The Lynx get it into the corner to Colton Smith. And he has it now on the left wing. Oh, zings a pass inside to Mandel. And Mandel goes up, one dribble, banked it home in front of 2 Lynx. It's a 15-4 Mitchell lead.
And Mitchell really sharing the basketball well. It's been a trademark of this team. They've got guys that have played a lot of ball together, and it shows.
Delaney off a screen, fading away on the baseline with one hand. Too strong off the iron. Rebounded by Mandel. The outlet is intercepted by Delaney. Delaney driving in between Mandel and Smith. The ball is blocked. It's recovered by Mitchell. A long pass across the timeline to Talley. He's on the left wing for Mitchell. To the baseline. Guarded by Knutson. Up top. Solik was closed out by Mayen. Over to the right wing, Smith. And now Mandel in between the rings. Mitchell up by 11 in the early going. Talley for three. Off the back iron, left of the key. Battle for it, and Mandel got it to himself in the left corner. Fans thought he fouled Mayen. And now the Colonels with a second chance. Hinker takes a lot. Triple teamed left block. Knocks over Mayen and whistled for another foul. His second in the last minute. It'll be BV ball.
Yeah, you can see Brandon Valley's had enough of Hinker scoring down low. As soon as he caught it that time, he was double teamed, actually triple teamed. Yep. And an easy call for the officials there as Hinker definitely lowered his shoulder.
So 2 early fouls on the 6'6 senior who averages 10 points, 7 boards a game, and he's on the bench, replaced by Owen Rommel, a 6'1 sophomore guard.
And Brandon Valley takes Landon Delaney out of this game. He hasn't scored yet, and this team only has 4 points.
2 minutes remaining and a block on the right elbow. Mandel got the block on Brandon Valley. And now Rommel up ahead. Mandel on the drive, knocked down. Briggs Knutson, who stood in there for the charge. Back-to-back charges on the Colonels. Riker Kreitzfeld, their head coach, doesn't like it. And the Lynx get the ball right back, hanging in there.
Yeah, I thought the defender was still moving. It's a tough call for the officials, though, because you're running full speed as an official trying to make that call, too. But Mitchell's doing a great job, John, getting out in transition and really putting a lot of pressure on the Brandon Valley defense.
15-4 Colonel lead. They're the number 2 team in the state. Brandon Valley number 4 in South Dakota with the ball. Minute and a half left in this first half. Full house, 2,000 on hand. Man-to-man Mitchell defense. Lynx have a left of the key 3 on the way. That's short. And the rebound corralled by Colton Smith as Braden Miller chucked that up. And now Talley in the lane. Out to the left wing, Solik. Brandon Valley in the defense, a right baseline drive, a swat from behind, but Colton Smith recovers it. A Lynx player got a block from behind, and Colton Smith laid it in, and then Craig Nelson, the Brandon Valley coach, calls a timeout with 1:09 remaining in the first quarter, and Mitchell now up 17-4, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell is playing terrific on the defensive end of the floor right now. They are so active with their hands. They're getting deflections. They're getting steals. They're blocking shots. Oh, and when Brandon Valley does miss a shot, it's one and done. Mitchell's getting the basketball and running the floor. And you can't ask for a better start if you're Mitchell here on the road. And what you've done defensively in this game, I think Mitchell's defense is really what's fueling them and getting them also good offensive looks, too.
Some of Riker Kreitzfeld's keys for his Mitchell Colonels coming into the game: attack the interior, check.
Yeah.
Find mismatches in the post, check. And contain Landon Delaney, hold him under his 15-point per game average. Well,
check,
so
he's
far,
got 0. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and your key to the game, dominate the glass.
I think they're doing that too, aren't they?
I mean, I haven't seen Brandon Valley have too many opportunities for putbacks.
And Mitchell's gotten 3 offensive boards in this game, so Brandon Valley just needs to try to steady the ship here, right? I think the last minute 9 here of this first quarter is huge for them to cut this lead down a little bit, get yourself a little momentum going into the second quarter. Let's see if they can do it.
A well-advised timeout from Craig Nelson. 17-4 Mitchell the lead. Now a minute remaining, first quarter at home. Plenty of Mitchell fans here making noise and making it their home so far. Man-to-man Mitchell defense. Brandon Valley keeping it around the arc. They've got a lot of subs in the game right now. Briggs Knutson not one of them. The point guard at the top of the key. Over to the right wing. Down to 10 on the shot clock. BV still keeping it around the arc. Now they go down the lane. Zur with one hesitation move. Can't get the left-handed lay-in. Smith all over him. Out of bounds baseline. And it's going to be Mitchell ball. Things just look very helter-skelter for the Brandon Valley offense.
And credit Mitchell. They're the ones that are creating that. They're doing a great job containing the ball, pressuring the basketball. And they've really got this Brandon Valley crowd kind of out of the game, too, with this start, which I think is really important.
Game stops momentarily to...
A little clock issue. They didn't start the shot clock or the game clock when they entered the basketball.
So they take 2 seconds off of both. 35 game, 33 shot clock. As the Colonels move right to left, if you're listening on the radio, they have it on the left wing. Solik into the corner. Talley looks to the post, passes back up top. Brandon Valley in the 2-3 zone after starting man-to-man. Smith drives halfway down the right rails and just leans in from 5. Missed it off the rim. Rebounded by Dowd for Brandon Valley. Long outlet. And Marcus Talley diving, landing on his feet in front of the Mitchell bench out of bounds.
I tell you, Marcus Talley has been sensational defensively in this game. Very active with his hands. And he's been the one that has been matched up on Landon Dulaney and held Brandon Valley's leading scorer scoreless. There's that matchup right there what we're talking about.
Lynx with 10 seconds on the first quarter clock, down by 13. Dulaney between the rings, gets a screen, right-hand dribble, Smith on him, twisting down the lane, right-handed scoop, missed. Link comes flying in to get the rebound. It goes out of bounds, baseline off of the Lynx. Another Colonel stop with a second and a half remaining in the first quarter.
Well, again, this is a Brandon Valley team that averages 58. I mean, they have had great games scoring the basketball, but only 4 here in this first quarter.
Inbounds pass, and there is going to be a heave. Rommel, man, throws a bullet into the Brandon Valley student section about 10 feet to the right of the goal and in the second row of stands. And we have reached the end of the first quarter, and number 2 Mitchell dominating number 4 Brandon Valley in a state title rematch, 17-4. The second quarter a minute away on our Avera Game of the Week.
Has more than 40 years of experience providing great hospitality and focusing on providing seniors the full life. We have restaurant-style dining. We have a health and fitness club, wonderful life enrichment activities. We have wonderful team members who are here to be your support systems and your friends. Health services care team members who will help you in any level of care, assisted living, and then 2 levels of memory care and early memory care support. All of those things are at your fingertips when you're here at All Saints.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Clash of the Titans in AA boys basketball, and Mitchell out to a 17-4 lead at Brandon Valley. Colonels ranked number 2. The Lynx at home ranked number 4 and have the ball to start the second quarter left to right. Rematch of a state title game. Colonels won by 1 point in Sioux Falls back in March. 3 of 5 starters returned from each team. Landon Dulaney, one of them for Brandon Valley. Pinned on the right elbow, out to the wing. And a 3-ball for Briggs Knutson. Draws the Lynx to within 10. It's his 30th three-pointer of the year.
Yeah, desperately needed by Brandon Valley just to see the ball go through the net, and now they fall back into that zone defense that they tried a couple possessions in the first quarter.
John Gaskins with Brad Newitt tonight on our Avera Game of the Week. Fox Sports 98.1 Radio. Inside, Gavin Hinker has the ball stripped away from him on the left, blocked by Dulaney. Knutson brings it down the near sideline to the right wing for Brandon. Up top, Zer for 3, open. Off the side iron left, rebounded and fouled. Braden Miller got the board, and now Brandon Valley dominated early on the glass. Getting an O board, getting another possession, putting Mitchell in the foul column. It's the second tonight for Parker Mandel.
Yeah, you see our Vance Thompson vision replay of that last First Dakota 3 by Brandon Valley. That was huge. And Brandon Valley's come out here with a little more spunk, wouldn't you say, to start the second quarter?
I would say so. I could hear the spunky voice of Craig Nelson a few feet away from us on the scores table in that between quarters timeout. He was teaching as much as he was yelling and hollering, but it was definitely an affirmative voice. Meanwhile, while the replay was showing the inbounds pass was lobbed underneath the hoop for Brandon Valley to Aiden Zer, Gavin Hinker just basically threw him down to the deck defending it and whistled for his 3rd foul. So Mitchell's starting center and 3rd leading scorer likely on the bench for the rest of the first half. Zer missed his first free throw, drained his second, And Brandon Valley has scored the first 4 points of the second quarter, now trails 17-8 a minute in.
Well, to your point, for a lot of teams, losing a player like Kinker would really be detrimental, but Mitchell's got a lot of scoring options.
Well, Colton Smith is one of them. He drove in traffic, missed a kick out off the O board. A right wing three missed by Talley, open, but another O board. Rammel gets it for Mitchell right of the lane, and he is fouled. And bad news for the Lynx, it's Landon Delaney, their leading scorer. So it's Delaney's first, team's first of the second quarter. And Landon Delaney, meanwhile, has more fouls than he has points.
Yeah, he hasn't scored, and neither has Marcus Talley. I mean, how surprising is that? I mean, these are two of the best players in the state, and neither one of them have gotten a bucket to go.
Leading scorer for each team, and our players to watch for the game. Mitchell throwing it around the arc, drive down the baseline, and a pass ripped off by Zur. Zur, a 1-on-2 drive, stops, and then falls forward on his front, splat.
Wow.
And no foul call.
I have no idea how that was not a foul. He got two hands shoved in the back, and the officials didn't see it.
You can hear Craig Nelson yelling down the way. That's a foul. Inbound to Knutson, left wing for Brandon Valley. Still down by 9, a minute and a half into the second quarter. Full house, over 2,000. Number 2 and 4 in the state. Number 2 on top by 9. Knutson in between the rings. Gets a screen all the way down the left side. He's on the wing now, pivoting. Talley all over him. 10 on the shot clock. Knutson finds Delaney. Delaney slashes to the left side of the lane. Bounces it back to Knutson for 3. No good from the corner. Rebound on the right baseline by Brandon. Dowd corralled it between two Colonels. Somewhere in there was a foul. Not nearly as obvious as the earlier play. And the Lynx will get it after the infraction whistled on Colton Weir for Mitchell off the bench. And so Delaney, the inbounds pass to the right wing for Brandon Valley, a fresh 35.
Well, Brandon Valley's been way more active on the glass here in this second quarter. They've gotten themselves already 2 offensive boards.
Left corner 3 coming for the Lynx. That is short from the hurl of Miller, out of bounds off a high carom left baseline board clash. And Marcus Talley couldn't corral it. So the Lynx get it again, a fresh 35. 5:43 remaining first half, down 17-9. Inbounds pass goes to Miller on the left wing. He went right, shifted his dribble, and it left. Now hands it off to Delaney, backcourt left. Zinged it inside on the block. And being hounded. Dowd found the top of the key. Now Delaney, left wing 3. Rim glass missed. Zur tips it toward Delaney on the left wing, but it's ripped off by Mandel.
Boy, it was a great look for Delaney. He was wide open with his feet set, just couldn't get the 3 to fall.
The Colonels keep trying in transition. The Lynx keep getting back on defense just in time. Mandel has it right wing for Mitchell, up by 9. Just over 5 minutes remaining first half at Brandon Valley.
And Brandon Valley's been in the 2-3 zone for the entire second quarter.
Mandel free throw line, dribbles halfway down, kicks it left wing 3. Back iron for Rammel. High tip, rebound in the high post for Dowd for Brandon Valley. The Colonels haven't scored yet in this second quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, the zone's being effective, forcing jump shots.
Zur free throw line, hands it off. Miller drives it into a double team right block, bounces it to Knutson. Now he's in the mid post. Right-handed scoop, fading away, no. Tipped, rebound down, muscles his way in, got the putback around Colton Smith. 6 in a row for Brandon Valley to start the second quarter. The lead is down to 7.
And they're doing it on the offensive glass. Just a much more concerted effort given there.
Talley drove the right rails and got blocked. And now a foul on the rebound attempt. And apparently on the shot. And it is on Braden Miller for Brandon Valley. You heard the crowd. The Brandon Valley bench did not like that call. Here's a Vance Thompson vision replay.
Well, you see Talley really aggressive taking it in, and then he got his shot blocked, but the ball caromed right to him. He went right back up with it, got fouled.
Yeah, he was stripped. They called that a shot. Was that a shot? Would you call that a shot?
Yeah, to me it looked like he was in a shooting motion at that point, but
kind of like in football sometimes when you're not quite sure.
But Mitchell gets their first point now here of the second quarter, but it takes 4 minutes for that to happen.
Talley's first point of the game, 70% free throw shooter, and he swishes his second attempt as well. And so Mitchell now up 19-10, 4:15 and ticking, first half on the road. Delaney at the top, driving down the right side of the lane on Talley. Up top, back to Delaney. Man-to-man Mitchell defense. Right wing. Miller drives it to the right elbow. Lynx trying to limit the possessions. Lob inside, reverses block. On the way up, Colton Weir got the block on Miller, and now the Colonels bring it down. Again, Brandon Valley quickly back into its 2-3 zone that's been effective in this second quarter. Defensive game at the moment. Physical game, as you'd expect in this ESD tussle.
Exactly what we expected, to your point.
Solik right baseline, double teamed up to Talley, left of the key three. Off the left hand, good look. Off the front of the rim, and Delaney the rebound for Brandon Valley. He has yet to score. And now the Lynx get a pass inside. Dowd puts it on the deck. Smith goes right over him. Got a hand on the ball, but apparently a part of the body as well. And free throws are coming for Austin Dowd.
So foul trouble starting to play a role here for Mitchell. We already mentioned their starting center, Gavin Hinker, on the bench with foul trouble. Colton Smith, now playing center, just picked up his second foul.
Yeah, Hinker with 3 already, and Dowd's first free throw attempt back iron. So a tight game. Brandon Valley trailed 17-4 after 1. And the Lynx have already missed a couple of free throws. Brandon Valley sending Mock Mayen, a starter, back in after a long rest. Aiden Zur, a starter, checks out. Lincoln McCurney in off the bench, a 6-foot freshman guard for the first time tonight. And Grant Hennon, a 6'5 senior, about to check in after Dowd makes his second free throw. To cut the lead to 19-11.
Riker Kreitzfeld, the Mitchell head coach, going to leave in Colton Smith with those 2 fouls. So he's got to be really careful not to pick up number 3 here in the last 3 minutes.
Marcus Talley yet with a field goal. Lobs it inside to Smith, driving the right baseline. Catches it and misses it point blank. Rebounded by his defender, Hennon, who just checked in. Knutson brings across for Brandon Valley, left to right. Down by 8. Right elbow. McCurney in trouble. He missed his shot. And the ball underneath the rebound to Colton Smith. Now Talley brings it ahead for the Colonels, who have led the whole game. Scored the first 6. It was 17-4 after 1. Brandon Valley went to a 2-3 zone. It's worked. No field goals yet for Mitchell in this second quarter. And now Mayen stripped the ball out of Colton Smith's hands on the right wing out of bounds. And Smith will toss it in.
Yeah, I really feel like Brandon Valley went to the zone because Mitchell was dominating the paint in that first quarter. And a lot of it was Gavin Hinker, their starting center, but he's out of the game right now.
Talley on the right wing, double team, handed it off to Solik, flew to the free throw line, left wing, back up top to Solik, now Talley back right. Down to 3 on the shot clock, Talley a deep 3. Air ball, short, out of bounds, baseline. Smith came in to try to save it. He landed in the front couple rows of bleachers behind the basket. A shot clock violation. And Brandon gets the ball back.
I tell you, great defense by Brandon Valley. Their zone defense has really got Mitchell frustrated. They're standing around. They're forcing the Colonels to take a lot of jump shots with hands in their face.
2:10 remaining, first half. Defense chance from the Mitchell students behind the Brandon Valley basket. A lot of fans here from Mitchell to make this a nearly full gymnasium. One of the biggest in the state. About 2,000. 2 minutes remaining. Delaney, had an open 3, decided not to take it. In the left corner, it goes to Mayen. Now Delaney shot fake, puts it on the deck, drives down the right lane, right-handed scoop around Smith. Smith careful to not foul. Delaney got an easier look. It's 19-13 Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell got switched there, and great recognition by a veteran, smart player in Delaney to go right at Colton Smith.
So the lead now down to 6, the slimmest it's been for a while for the Colonels. Number 2 in the state. 16-2 on the year.
Mitchell needs to attack the high post here. They're not doing that right now.
Lob inside to Smith on the left block. He's double teamed. It's out of bounds. And it stays with Mitchell, much to the chagrin of the Brandon Valley players and students hopping up and down. And Riker Kreitzfeld, the Mitchell head coach, just shy of 30 years old, calls a 30-second timeout. 1:21 remaining in the first half. Mitchell on top of number 4 Brandon Valley, 19-13 in a slugfest.
It is, boy. If you came to watch offense, this is a tough one for the eyes here because both of these teams have really struggled scoring the basketball during different stretches. Again, Brandon Valley only had 4 points in that first half. They've now scored 9 in this first quarter, I should say they had 4. But now Mitchell's the team that can't score. They've only got 2 points, John, in the second quarter. And they're both from the free throw line. They have not made a field goal in almost 7 minutes of play.
But the Lynx, yes, they've outscored the Colonels 11-2 since the quarter started, but they still must feel like it's such a steep uphill climb the way the Colonels are playing defense. Landon Delaney only has 2 points, just got his first bucket of the game, and that was partly because Colton Smith with 2 fouls decided to kind of lay off. So, inbounds pass for Mitchell underneath its own hoop, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Talley, 1 dribble off the catch, nails a 3 from the top of the key. His first field goal of the game, his 32nd tray of the year.
And a big one, first Dakota 3 there for Marcus Talley to get his team back up 9.
Griggs Knutson drove right down the lane for Brandon, had the ball stripped by Colton Smith. The Lynx get it underneath with 26 on the shot clock, trailing 22-13. Griggs Knutson, the quarterback of the football team, point guard for the Hoops, lobs it, mid-post, high catch, Dowd moves in around Smith, again careful to not foul, and an easy lay-in for Austin Dowd, who has 6 points. It's a 7-point lead.
Yeah, Dowd's really been effective rebounding and scoring in the low post for Brandon Valley in this game.
Still a 2-3 zone for Brandon Valley. The Lynx defending on the right elbow. Weir out of a jam, bounces to Talley, right wing into the corner. Solik puts it on the deck left hand, carries it toward the top. Now Talley looked at the post, found Solik again. Now the high post, Weir double teamed, back turn, had the ball stripped, picked up by Dowd. Handoff to Delaney at half court. Delaney dribbling right wing. Talley stays right with him up top to Mayen. 22 on the game clock. Shot clock is off. Brandon Valley's going to play for the last shot, except we have a whistle in the post way away from the ball. And we had a tie-up. Delaney and Talley, and Delaney whistled for the block. That's his second foul, and he'll have to take a seat.
Yeah, he was trying to screen down there, and they said he moved on it. And like you said, big foul there to go against BV's leading scorer. He'll go to the bench here for the last 19 seconds.
One of the best players in the state, and now Delaney, maybe the best player in the state with the ball in his hands. 15 seconds remaining, a 7-point lead in this first half, and he finds Colton Smith, right corner 3, that's short. And a whistle on the rebound battle. Mayen going up for Brandon Valley. And it was Rammel for Mitchell, whistled for the foul. So 5.5 seconds. 5.3 to be exact. That was Mitchell's, must have been their 15th foul, because we're walking this down to the free throw line for Brandon Valley.
Yeah, so that's a big one there. You give BV now a chance to make some free throws when they would have had a really hard time probably scoring the basketball with 5 seconds to go.
So Mock Mayen gets 2. He is 61% of the year, 3 dribbles. The left-handed flick is through. For the lean but athletic Mayen, a 6'3 senior. It's his first point of the game. Aiden Zur checks in for Brandon Valley for a little muscle on the defense.
Well, considering how much of a train wreck the first quarter was for Brandon Valley, they trailed 17-4. They got to be happy where they're at right now, only down 6.
Mayen's second toss is a swish. And it is 5, the lead. 22-17. Mitchell has 5.3 seconds and the length of the court. And Brandon Valley putting in some length with Mayen and Zur to defend things. As Rammel does the inbound underneath the BV hoop to Talley. Past his defender at half court. Down to 3, down to 2. Talley was racing, and near the free throw line is fouled on the arm. Brandon Valley's 15th foul, so this just sends Marcus Talley to the line, or is it the 4th? Okay, there's 4 on the board. They got it up there fast.
Yeah, they fouled on purpose to try to slow Mitchell down. Now they got to defend for 2.3.
2.3, and the Talley goes in between the circles. 1 dribble, step back 3, deep one. Oh, that looks good. Off the back iron from about 27 feet. And we go to halftime. The Mitchell Colonels bolted to a 17-4 lead after 1. Brandon Valley outscores Mitchell 13-5 in the second quarter to make this a game at the break. What is your biggest takeaway?
Well, I thought Brandon Valley really changed the complexion of the game in the second quarter with their zone defense and then got after some rebounding. Well, I tell you, this is a slugfest. We'll see if both these teams can figure out how to score the basketball better in the second half.
A rematch of the state championship game that wasn't much higher scoring back in March. Mitchell won that 46-45, and the second-ranked Colonels lead at number 4 Brandon Valley 22-17 at halftime. Some stats and some replays. We call those highlights during halftime. coming your way on our Avera Game of the Week. Fox Sports 98.1 Radio, Metrosports.tv, the Outlaw Channel 13.2, and DakotaNewsNow.com.
To have cloudy vision flying an aircraft, you have to have perfect vision. It's vital. I came here 4 years ago, Advanced Thompson Vision, and had my first light adjustable lens. About 5 weeks ago I came and had the second one done. It's just the technology is out of this world, is outstanding, you know. There's nothing else like it in the world. But even if I could get it done in Dubai or Tokyo or Singapore, I wouldn't do it except here. Only Advanced Thompson Vision.
Here at Touchmark at All Saints, you're going to be surrounded by history.
When you drive up to our community, you are impressed by the beautiful campus all around. This community is a combination of the old and the new. The old on the exterior, but your apartments are impressive. I've never been so pampered in my life.
So it's the combination of both the history and modernization that makes it fun and enjoyable.
Starting the First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
We all have dreams. At South Dakota State University, we dare to dream big. From the arts to the sciences, students and faculty discover what is possible and solve complex problems, challenging ourselves to think differently and impact our world. With SDSU, reaching to the stars starts on solid ground. Experience our elevated approach to education that prepares students to walk toward their future and build something greater.
What does First Alert coverage mean to you? It's your first alert to breaking news, because when news happens, you shouldn't have to wait. It's keeping you informed on the issues that matter and updating you with the latest information. It's weather every 5 minutes, because we know your time is important. It's covering state and local politics, because decisions from City Hall to the State House affect you most. Dakota News Now, your First Alert station.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you. With a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
We all.
Seniors, accepting for Coach Sir are the seniors and assistant coaches Maggie Gay, Jeff Locker, Kenny Paul, Danica Newenhouse, and Emma Trevere. Congratulations to the Lady Lynx.
At Brandon Valley High School, where about 2,000 people are packed in here, a senior night for the girls team, and they are posing. Their backs are to our cameras here. But they are posing for a picture with the Eastern South Dakota Conference trophy, or in this case, a plaque. They went undefeated in that league run, capped off by an emphatic 60-34 win over Mitchell, who came in as the number 6 team in the state tonight. They just dismantled the Colonels They look great. Brandon Valley, they've won 17 in a row against South Dakota teams, and their only loss to competition in these borders was number 1 O'Gorman, season opener by 10 points.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a terrific thing just to follow. Do those teams stay on a collision course in the state championship as well on the girls' side? Because O'Gorman's obviously the gold standard right now. I mean, you can tell me how many they've won in a row, but it's in the 40s, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so
43, I believe.
Okay, so BV's the one team I think that maybe could give them a challenge. We'll see how it goes.
For sure, and that would be a rematch of a state championship game last year that was pedal to the metal until the last few minutes. And so is this game we have tonight. This is a rematch of last year's state title game. Mitchell won that by a point. The number 2 ranked Colonels lead here at Brandon, ranked number 4, 22-17. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt, and this just was rock fight, dog fight, slugfest, whatever you want to call it. Not a thing of beauty unless you love defensive physical basketball.
Well, yeah, and I think both these teams really got after each other. You look at some of our Vance Thompson Vision replays and highlights here on Metro Sports TV. And Mitchell, I thought, was terrific in that first quarter on the defensive, and they were blocking shots. They were getting deflections, right? They held Brandon Valley, a team that averages 58, to just 4 points. And then on the offensive end, I thought Mitchell really had it cooking. They were scoring in the paint. They were getting drives. They were getting to the foul line, and they led 17-4 after our first 8 minutes.
You saw the drive by Colton Smith, second leading scorer on this team. Coming into the game, he leads all Colonels with 7 points. And he had some moves that very few players in the state can make. On the drive in the jungle, 6'5", and you see him just sing a pass down low to Parker Mandel off the bench. Mandel was an early spark plug, 4 points and a couple of steals. Neither team shooting the ball very well.
Yeah.
The Colonels are 8 of 23 from the field, and Brandon Valley 5 of 20 beyond the arc. The Colonels are 3 of 11, and Brandon just 1 of 7. There's a big shot from Landon Solik. Not a prolific scorer, just 4 points per game, but nails one of Mitchell's 3 3-pointers that we saw in that first half.
Yeah, I thought a key, though, in the second quarter was Brandon Valley switching to the zone defense, right? And Mitchell only scored 1 field goal, John, in that second quarter. That was a First Dakota 3, but I thought Brandon Valley's defense was huge in that second quarter, helped them get back in the game, and they won that second quarter 13-5. And I thought the other thing that the Lynx did, they got some offensive glass. You saw that one there. BV has 5-0 boards in this game now, and that helped them get to this just now a 5-point deficit, what I think is huge for them just from a mental standpoint, knowing they've got a chance in this game.
It's a 14-10 rebounding advantage overall for the Mitchell Colonels. And other vital stats, free throw line. Brandon Valley has twice as many attempts and makes, 6 of 8 to Mitchell's 3 of 4. The Lynx are led in scoring by Austin Dowd off the bench with 7. After that, just 3 points from Zur and Knutson, and Landon Delaney, their leading scorer coming in, has just 2 points. And Marcus Talley, the leading scorer for Mitchell coming in, has only 5. So it's been a tough night for the top scorers, which really falls into the theme for what we've seen in this game, as you saw Talley knock down his only field goal of the evening. We'll take a 1-minute timeout, and then we'll have the second half. Number 2 Mitchell leading number 4 Brandon Valley 22-17 on our Avera Game of the Week.
The First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Well, buckle up for a second half slobber knocker at Brandon Valley. The number 4 ranked Lynx trailing number 2 Mitchell 22-17. High school boys basketball, our Avera game of the week on the simulcast, Fox Sports 98.1 radio, on television on the Outlaw channel at 13.2, online at metrosports.tv and dakotanewsnow.com. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt as they clear the band. Getting most of the band to clear out.
I've never quite understood that at a lot of these schools we go to, that the band doesn't stay for the whole game, but we were happy to have them while they were here.
I know, they were great. Maybe they have some homework. It's up to the DJ now.
I hate to lose that environment, man. It's part of high school basketball.
Colton Smith takes a pass in the mid-post, a nice lob, turns around, makes a 7-footer from about 7 feet away for his 8th and 9th points, and it's a 24-17 Mitchell lead. Rematch of the state championship game last March, and Brandon Valley threw it away from the right baseline. A toss over to left wing, ripped off by Landon Solik. Here come the Colonels, left to the right goal. Parker Mandel getting the rare start tonight. Zinged it inside to Talley. He kicked it out to the right wing. 2-3 zone for Brandon Valley. Fell behind 17-4 after 1. Landon Delaney gets an interception out near the left wing, and then the Colonel who threw the pick immediately hacked him on the arm. That's Landon Solik, his second foul.
Yeah, probably not a bad foul. Delaney was going to be off to the races, and no one was going to catch him in the open floor.
200-meter state track champion as a sophomore 2 years ago. Now he's from the free throw line, assisting to a baseline cutting Austin Dowd for the lay-in, and the lead is down to 5. Again, Mitchell led by as many as 13.
And Dowd leading right now, Brandon Valley, and scoring with 9 tonight.
Lob inside, Gavin Hinker, turn around over 2 link to the right hand, baby hook no. May in the rebound, outlet to Zura across the timeline for BV, and Mitchell settles into its man-to-man defense. Colonels were up 17-4 after 1, but just by 5 at the break as Brandon outscored them 13-5 in the second quarter.
And right now, I would say Mitchell not playing with the intensity that they did to start this game, pressuring the basketball. You see there, Brandon Valley again getting a post touch, and what do you know, another post touch for Austin Dowd, the sophomore big man, really playing well tonight.
Yeah, the lob went inside from the left wing underneath the basket, and it's the first foul tonight for Mitchell's Marcus Talley, their leading scorer. And the first free throw is off the back iron for Austin Dowd, who is now 3 of 5 at the line tonight, 50% on the year. Just feel in a game where points are at such a premium, these missed free throws could be killers. But Dowd swishes the second to make this a 4-point Mitchell lead. Almost 2 minutes into the second half.
Now, Mitchell really hasn't been able to crack this 2-3 zone, right? Now, a lot of that had to do with the fact that Hinker was on the bench, their post, for a lot of that second quarter.
Smith drove into the 2-3 zone. It was stolen away. Up ahead, Delaney racing, falling forward, getting the lay-in ahead of the defense. His 3rd and 4th points. It's a 2-point game. 24-22 as Brandon has scored the first 5 of the second half.
And Mitchell has only scored, John, 7 points here now in about 13 minutes of game time.
Colton Smith tied up on the right block, stolen away by Delaney, off the block from Mayen, but a long lob up ahead. Across half court, stolen by Talley. He goes left to right, kicks it right corner 3. Smith too strong. Knutson, the point guard, getting the board.
Boy, great look for Colton Smith from the corner. A great three-point shooter.
BV, a chance to tie or take the lead. And a whistle away from the ball. Oh, Mock Mayen clutching his stomach for Brandon Valley. You can see him near the Brandon Valley bench if you're watching. And the whistle's blue. Yeah, I couldn't really see it in our Vance Thompson Vision replay. No fouls were called. Craig Nelson, the head coach of Brandon Valley, talking for a while with one of the Zebras. Mayen stays in the game, and he's guarded by Colton Smith, one of the stronger, more physical players in the state. So,
well, this has been a physical game the entire way.
Lynx have it off the inbound, left wing. Knutson looked right, put it on the deck left, spinning on a baseline drive. Now trying to hoist it over his defender, Solik, and Smith, and he got it to fall. What a move by Knutson, and we're tied at 24.
And Brandon Valley has made up now what was a 13-point deficit at the end of the first quarter.
Talley just driving right into the middle of the 2-3 zone and floating it up from 5 feet away. Marcus Talley now has 7 points. Offense is picked up. 26-24 Mitchell lead, and a whistle as Landon Delaney started dribbling, started moving forward on the right elbow. It's a foul away from the ball on Aiden Zer.
Yeah, offensively in the low post. You were talking about the physicality, and both these teams really banging down low right now, trying to get that position.
4:36 remaining, third quarter. Mitchell is ranked number 2 in the state, winners of 10 in a row. They're the only team this year to beat number 1 Lincoln. Brandon Valley has lost 2 of its last 3 after winning 16 in a row. And the Lynx back on defense. Gavin Hinker, left corner, or left block, out to Solik. Solik drove from the corner to the low post, hoisted it up from 5 in traffic. Mahan got the rebound off the back iron. Knutson right to left for Brandon Valley. Guarded closely by Talley, lobs it down to the right block, back turned on Hinker, who has 3 fouls. 2 dribbles, left baby hook, missed. Hinker kind of misdirected that. The rebound by Smith. Talley bringing it across for Mitchell. Barreling past 2 Lynx. Awkward angle, missed the right scoop. Rebound, Knutson, and a foul on Mitchell. So the Colonels unable to score in transition. It's on Owen Rammel, his second, and a look at the replay.
Yeah, our Vance Thompson Vision replay showing Talley in transition, really where he can be electric and dynamic, but couldn't get that shot to go off the glass, and then Mitchell gets the foul on the board.
Lynx another chance to tie or take the lead. Delaney, free throw line pull-up. Got it! Slashed in right of the arc. Good positioning. Landon Delaney has 6. It's 26 apiece.
And credit to Landon Delaney. He didn't score a lot in the first half, but he didn't force the issue, and he's got some key buckets here now in this third quarter.
Lynx still in that 2-3 zone. Talley left of the key, faked the pass to the post, back to the corner, Solik. Now Smith between the rings. Noyes picks up from the Brandon Valley bench. Bounce pass inside, down, ripped it off in front of Hinker. The steal. And Mitchell drops back into the man-to-man. Colton Smith held out both hands to his teammates and said, let's calm down. Brandon Valley a chance to take its first lead of the game, halfway through the third quarter. Mahan for 3, right wing open, back iron. Rebound though on the left wing goes to Dowd, and BV gets a fresh 35. Delaney left wing, guarded closely by Rammel, now between the rings. Knutson puts up a thumbs up sign and retreats to the half court circle. Now he changes his dribble, barrels down the left side of the lane, swatted away by Smith, and picked up by Rammel, left elbow. Big time block for the All-Stater Smith. And Mitchell with the ball back, tied at 26, 2.5 to go in the third.
So Mitchell's been unable to get paint touches against this zone so far.
Talley slashed into the posts, kick out left corner 3, too strong from Smith. Rebound, put back for Rammel, bobbles in, and Riker Kreitzfeld, the Mitchell head coach, calls a timeout. So a bit of a slump buster. Rammel gives Mitchell a 28-26 lead with 2:13 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, Mitchell just hasn't been able to get anything going inside. They've been relying on a lot of jump shots against this zone, and they've struggled, quite frankly, to shoot the basketball in this game, which hasn't been a trademark of theirs. They're really a pretty good perimeter-oriented team, but that time going after the O glass. John, this game just has the making of it's just not – neither team seems like they're going to be able to pull ahead much here.
And it was very much the same way in March at the state championship when Mitchell captured its first crown in 19 years, holding on by a point in a physical, low-scoring game, 46-45. Brandon Valley had about 8 seconds or so on an inbounds pass. Couldn't get a great look on a three-point attempt from their big man, Josh Altoff, who has graduated, and Mitchell survived for just such a long struggle, wait.
Yes.
To put up another banner in the Corn Palace.
Well, last year's team for Mitchell was certainly a special one, and this year's is too. But I tell you, both these teams, you can tell, they know each other really well, like scouting report. I mean, there's just not a lot being given on the offensive end for clean looks for either one of these teams.
Neither team's leading scorer, 2 of the highest scoring players in the state, are leading their team in scoring tonight. Marcus Talley does now have 7 for Mitchell. Delaney with 6 for Brandon Valley. Off the timeout, Lynx with the ball, down by 2. Now 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Delaney takes a pass, left elbow. Talley all over him. So he finds a teammate, and now Brandon Valley passes it back out, back inside the arc, down, around Hinker. Hinker gets the block on down, 5 feet away. Hinker with 3 fouls, beautiful defense. And the Colonels take it back. Brandon Valley into a 2-3 zone. Talley at the top, 1 dribble, kick out right wing, 3 on the way. That is short from Solik, rebound Mayen, right baseline for Brandon Valley.
I think the other thing the zone has done is Mitchell's maybe not getting the number of shot attempts they would like from some of their star players.
Mayen driving into Smith, spin around, 6 foot, little baby left hand hook for Mayen. His first field goal of the game, ties it at 28.
A nice athletic play by Mayen, getting into the paint and scoring over the D.
First year starter, replacing one of those 2 that left from Brandon Valley's runner-up team last year. Smith takes a lob on the left block, bounces it to Hinker right side, and Mayen gets a hand on it, gets the steal.
Now Hinker was going in for Glass, and then the bounce pass hit him in the knee.
Andon Delaney, guarded by Marcus Talley. What a one-on-one matchup this is. 2 of the very best in the state. And now Briggs Knutson has it between the rings, left wing. Braden Miller trying to break free, left elbow, hands it off to Delaney. And now it's down to 10 seconds. Knutson between the rings, crossing over, handing off Delaney at the top. Delaney down the right rails, fade away over Talley from 10. Got it to go! What a move for Delaney over Talley. And the Lynx have their first lead of the game at 30-28.
And what a big-time shot there, man. That was huge.
Shot clock winding down, 1-on-1, 2 of the best. 15 seconds on the third quarter clock. Talley with the ball between the rings, left side. Gets a screen from Smith. Over to the right side. Now to Talley. Deep. Top of the key 3. Back iron with 6. Mayen the rebound. He falls down. And it was Hinker who fell into him battling for the board. Gavin Hinker, the Mitchell center, has his 4th foul and goes to the bench. And now Brandon Valley gets the ball with 4.3 seconds in the full court to go in the third quarter. Yeah. Tough call. They got tangled up.
Yeah, Hinker's trying to make a play there, and just players' bodies getting tangled. And unfortunately, when you knock down someone with the basketball, they're either going to call travel or foul, and it was a foul.
Inbounds pass to Delaney, 4.3, flips it over to Mayen across half court. Mayen quickly, free throw line. Mayen left-handed hook at the buzzer! Holy smokes! What a move! How did he get there so fast? How did he get the angle? The buzzer beater gives Brandon a 32-28 lead as we go to the fourth quarter in a top 5 tilt. A state championship rematch from Brandon on our Avera Game of the Week.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you. With a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
We all have dreams. At South Dakota State University, we dare to dream big. From the arts to the sciences, students and faculty discover what is possible and solve complex problems, challenging ourselves to think differently and impact our world. With SDSU, reaching to the stars starts on solid ground. Experience our elevated approach to education that prepares students to walk toward their future and build something greater.
Mock Mayen with an incredible drive through traffic to beat the third quarter buzzer to give Brandon Valley a 32-28 lead as we start the fourth in Brandon. Number 2 Mitchell in town. The Lynx are number 4. And Brandon with the ball. Left elbow pull up from Briggs Knutson off the rim. And the rebound underneath Sutton Thompson for the Colonels. The defending state champs beat these Lynx by a point in this championship game last March. Parker Mandela, right corner 3. That's off the front iron. Mayen batted the rebound back to Delaney, who saved it from going out of bounds underneath. Back to Mayen, and now Briggs Knutson across half court for Brandon Valley. Gets the play call from Coach Craig Nelson. Brandon Valley had not led until 30-28 in that third quarter. They scored the last 6 of that frame, outscored the Colonels 15-6. And now Mayen takes a pass on the right block, and as he goes up, he is blocked by Parker Mandel. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt on our Game of the Week.
Well, here's the thing. Mitchell has scored 11 points in the second and third quarter combined. All right, their offense has just been stagnated with this zone D.
Inbounds underneath to Mayen, can't hit it from about 5 feet away down Broadway over Mandel. Rebound goes to Smith. Talley blazes it down for Mitchell. Colonels on the wrong end of a 6-0 run. Lob to the left baseline. Colton Smith zings it, and Thompson is stuffed on his way to the rack by Mayen. Mayen taking over. Delaney, long pass underneath the hoop, caught by Braden Miller. The Mitchell defense caught up as they went for the layup, so now Delaney between the rings off a screen from Mayen. Backs his way into the half-court circle. Delaney crossing over, driving, left-handed lay-in is good. He faked a pass out to the corner, and between two Colonels, banked it home for his 9th and 10th points.
And Landon Delaney's been huge in this second half. He's got 8 points.
6-point lead for BV. 8-0 run. 6:10 remaining in the fourth. Smith tied up by Mayen on the right baseline. Mayen got a hand on the ball. It goes out of bounds. Smith is called with the ball out of bounds on the baseline after Mayen had knocked it away. Riker Kreitzfeld erupts a little bit. And it's a full timeout. Mitchell calls it. We'll stay right here to collect our breaths. Just
doubt.
Under 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, Brandon Valley leading Mitchell 34-28. Vance Thompson Vision replay.
Well, the defense for Brandon Valley has been tremendous. You see Mayen there with a huge block. I tell you, Mitchell's just had no answers right now offensively. They have been stagnated by this zone. And then on the offensive end, you see what Landon Delaney's starting to do in this game, John. He's taking over. Beautiful finish there with his left hand going to the back, going to the left side off the bounce.
Mitchell has outscored Brandon Valley 28-11 since the start of the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's just been impressive in what they've done here. And here was the play again we're showing on our Vance Thompson Vision replay, how they ended the third quarter. I mean, that was one of the best last-second shots you'll ever see.
Good. I'm glad you said that because I certainly thought so in the moment, but sometimes...
No, I mean, it was well executed. I mean, they did not mess around, and that basket may be the one that decides this game. It's been really, really close. Now, I think Mitchell's going to get some things figured out here offensively. They just called another timeout. I guarantee you that's what they were talking about in that huddle over there for Riker Kreitzfeld.
Well, I don't know if it was a timeout. Everybody's a little confused.
Well, they're letting subs come into the game here after the buzzer. There's a timeout buzzer right after that. You can't sub again. But they let Brandon Valley get one more guy in the game.
And Riker Kreitzfeld let him know about it. So the Lynx with the ball, up by 6, inside 6 to go, fourth quarter. Mayen, kick out left corner 3. Miller too strong in the rebound on the left baseline. Ramel up ahead to Solik. Brandon Valley's defense catches up, gets into a 2-3 zone. Talley barreling into 4 defenders in the lane, and he has it stripped and stolen by Austin Dowd.
Well, that zone defense, John, has just shut down driving lanes. Mitchell cannot get to the rim because there's just nowhere to go.
Talley averages 18. He only has 7. Lob pass. Knutson catches it left block. Smith with the block off the backboard. Mayen catches it up top. Zur. And now Mayen has it at the top. Miller wing right. It's a man-to-man Mitchell defense. And now Miller has it in the left corner into a triple team. Bounces it. Knutson up top for 3. That grazes the front iron. Rebound by Dowd on the right baseline. Brandon Valley, a fresh 35.
And Brandon Valley probably playing more possessions and minutes here than they want to without Delaney.
Left corner 3 is good! Braden Miller had missed a few. He knocks that down. It's a 9-point Mitchell lead. And now a 9-0 run. Talley again, a drive on a double team, right block miss. Rebound underneath, Mayen falls on the deck after he corralled it for BV. And the Lynx with the ball and firm command right now, up 37-28. 4.5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Miller open again for three, left corner. Off the front iron, and the rebound goes to Rammel. The Colonels dodge a bullet. Just 11 points since the end of the first quarter. 2-3 zone. Around the arc it goes to Talley on the left wing. Mandel up top. Mandel kicks it, left corner, open three. Rammel knocks it down. Owen Rammel's fifth three all season long. He's a 20% three-point shooter, and he cuts the lead from 9-6.
Yeah, big First Dakota three there for Mitchell. And Craig Nelson needed to call a timeout because Landon Delaney was sitting at the score table, John, for the last 3 minutes. And Brandon Valley just needed to get him back in the game.
For sure, because Brandon Valley was on a nice little 9-0 run, up by 9, and they were able to survive a lot of Landon Delaney's absence, but they don't really want to take their chances much longer with this game. Such a tight, low-scoring affair. 37-31. The Lynx have the lead with 3:56 remaining. They are 15-3 and ranked number 4 in the state. They started 1-1. They won their next 13. They have lost 2 of their last 3, including top-ranked Lincoln by 11 a Friday night and a week ago, and then last week to number 3 Harrisburg by 13. So they have struggled a bit against some of the top competition, and they really looked up against it after trailing 17-4 after 1. But as Brad has mentioned, they've gone into a 2-3 zone and has clogged things up for Mitchell. The defense has helped transition into some offense. And Landon Delaney has finally kicked it up a notch. 8 of his 10 points have come since halftime. And now Brandon Valley's leading scorer back out on the court for the Lynx out of the timeout.
Yeah, that's what this game's going to come down to. Can the star players for either one of these teams make some key plays down the stretch?
Talley has 7 for Mitchell. He's guarding Delaney out on the right wing after the inbound. Mahan puts it on the deck, left elbow, bounces it. Zur, 2 players catch up with him. Kick out, top of the key. 3! There it is! Mock Mahan!
Well, 2 huge First Dakota threes for Brandon Valley here in the last minute and a half.
40-31, Brandon Valley, its biggest lead of the game. Its first lead came late in that third quarter. And here's a 3-ball right wing for Colton Smith. A little short, and the rebound goes to Mahan in the paint. Mock Mahan has come from out of nowhere to be a major factor in this 9-point BV lead.
Yeah, he's got 9 points here, and I think all of them in the second half.
Just over 3 minutes left, fourth quarter. Delaney just hounded by Talley. Dribbling to the left wing. Up top, Mahan faked the 3 on Colton Smith. Turned his back, and now Knutson has it in between. Well, in the center circle. Knutson gets a screen from Dow. Dribbling left hand, left elbow. Handoff, 3-ball again for Mahan. Well off the mark. Airballed and taken underneath by Rammel on the rebound for Mitchell. Colonel's in bad need of a bucket. Down 9 with 2:40 remaining, fourth quarter. Smith right of the key, dribbles over, sees Mahan in his path and retreats.
Now this zone's causing Mitchell left to use a lot of time, too.
Whistle blows as Marcus Talley tried to find a path down the lane. He is pushed by Briggs Knutson, his second foul, and Mitchell's first of the quarter. So that means non-shooting Mitchell inbounding it. Up top to Talley, shot fake on Knutson. Around the arc it goes. Rammel left wing, puts it on the deck. Delaney denies him a lane. Talley for 3, knocks it down.
He finally gets one to fall. It's been a tough shooting night for Mitchell's leading scorer, but he's now up to 10.
40-34. Brandon Valley the lead. Mitchell had it most of the night. The Lynx have been on a tear, though. And we have a foul on Briggs Knutson dribbling down the near sideline toward the corner. Landon Solik got a little too close. It's his third foul. First for Mitchell in the fourth. 2:09 remaining. A 6-point Lynx lead, 40-34. Knutson taking the inbounds pass to the circle. Out left wing to Zur. Man-to-man Mitchell defense. Zur dribbling right, then moving left. Forced to the left baseline. May have been pushed. Pass it to Delaney on the wing. Guarded closely by Talley. Off a screen from Mahan. Delaney dribbles it all the way back to the right side. Now he has it right wing. 12 on the shot clock. Knutson down the left rails. double teamed in a bind. Bounces it to Mayen, high post. To Zur, open right from 15 feet inside the wing. No. Mayen on the deck. Shot clock violation.
Now foul on Mayen. They said he pushed Colton Smith.
Yeah, battling for that board off the air ball.
Yeah, Vance Thompson Vision Replay will show here. I mean, it was just a battle there. Colton Smith couldn't quite corral it, and then he got kind of almost just ran up on from the backside as Mayen was just trying to make a play.
Mitchell had the big early lead in this tug of war. Brandon Valley has spent most of the last 2 quarters getting it into their advantage, but now Mitchell a chance to cut it to 4, maybe 3. Bounce pass inside. Hinker just moves right in on his single defender down inside. And Gavin Hinker, who's been in foul trouble the whole night, has his first field goal. 40-36, only a minute 12 remaining in the fourth. That was a monster bucket for Mitchell. Now down by 2 possessions. Craig Nelson calls a full timeout for the Lynx. We'll take it with them. 1:09 remaining. Brandon Valley up 40-36 over Mitchell on our Avera Game of the Week.
You can't afford to have cloudy vision flying an aircraft. You have to have perfect vision. It's vital. I came here 4 years ago, Vance Thompson Vision, and had my first light adjustable lens. About 5 weeks ago I came and had the second one done. It's just the technology is out of this world, is outstanding, you know. There's nothing else like it in the world. But even if I could get it done in Dubai or Tokyo or Singapore, I wouldn't do it except here, only at Vance Thompson Vision.
Down the stretch we come. Just what we asked for in this top 5 tilt. Number 4, Brandon Valley, leading number 2, Mitchell. 40-36 in Brandon. Inbounds pass near hash mark for the Lynx. They have the ball and the 4-point lead. An immediate whistle. Briggs Knutson, the BV point guard, between the rings. Pushed by Landon Solik. The defense so tight and physical in this game. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt. We're down to a minute 4 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I would assume now Mitchell doing that, they're going to try to put Brandon Valley here on the line.
Rematch of a state title game back in March. Mitchell won it by 1. House is nearly full, about 2,000 on hand. Inside a minute left. Brandon with a 4-point lead, had the fresh 35 off the foul.
Yeah, I don't know what Mitchell's doing then. Why did they foul there and reset the shot clock?
Man-to-man defense, Knutson at the half-court circle, down to 45 game, 15 shot clock. Knutson, left of the key. Hangs it over his head, lobs it to Dowd, left of the lane, zings it into the right corner. Miller for 3. Oh, it's off the top of the backboard, and it's out of bounds to Mitchell. So the Lynx do wind it all the way down to 34 seconds. Mission accomplished on that end, but can't score. And now it is Mitchell ball.
Yeah, I mean, 45 seconds went off the game clock there on that possession if you're Mitchell. And you need at least 2 possessions here. You're down 4. And Mitchell uses one of their timeouts now. Each team with 1 team left, or 1 timeout left, excuse me.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Colonels draw up. Marcus Talley has tried his best, averages 18 a game. As you've mentioned, Brad, the 2-3 zone has disallowed driving lanes. The Colonels have not gotten much going in transition since they took a 17-4 lead after the second quarter. Their half-court offense has been almost abysmal, really, to be honest.
Yeah, they haven't shot it well either from the three-point line. And those looks have been there against the zone. I mean, Brandon Valley's packed that thing in, and Mitchell just hasn't been able to make very many threes.
I mean, expect the ball in Marcus Talley's hands.
Yeah.
And they're going to need a quick bucket. 34 seconds remain, no shot clock anymore. The Colonels need a basket in the worst way. If they don't get it, Brandon Valley gets the ball, and of course now Mitchell has to foul down 2 possessions. Talley with it in his hands at the top. Gets a screen. into the lane, and the whistle blows. Foul on Brandon Valley before Talley was to kick it out to the right wing.
Well, Mitchell did something they hadn't done all game, which really works well against the zone, and that's at a ball screen, right? And Talley was able to get into the paint there.
So the foul was on Brandon Valley's Dowd, his first. Inbounds underneath. Long outlet to Colton Smith, ahead of the timeline. Now Talley, step back three, back iron, rebounded, baseline for Brandon Valley. Zur corralled it. 21 seconds remain. It's still a 4-point Lynx lead. Now the Colonels only have 3 team fouls. That one was the third on Colton Smith. But now they still have to give 2 fouls. 21 seconds remaining, down by 4.
Man, that was a really tough three-point look for Marcus Talley. And yeah, to your point, Mitchell's got the pressure, and if they can't get the steal, foul right away.
Talley almost got it. Delaney hauled it in, and then as he dribbled beyond the Mitchell arc, he's fouled on the wrist by Landon Solik, which is his 5th. So that's a starter for Mitchell that checks out. 19 seconds remain, still 40-36. Brandon Valley, and again, Mitchell has one more foul to give before they send the Lynx to the free throw line. So Zur, the inbounds pass, near side hash mark on Mitchell's side. Zur looking all over the court. Colton Smith draping his arms over him. The whistle blows. Delay of game.
Yeah, he reached too close. So the officials force the defender to at least give the inbounder some space. And if they violate that, this next one, if he does it again, will be a technical foul.
Yes, a delay of game is the term there. So Zur to inbound it once again around Smith to Delaney, and Talley comes in with the quick foul. 18 seconds on the 4th quarter clock. Number 4 Brandon Valley leading number 2 Mitchell 40-36. And the Brandon Valley students chanting, "This one's over." I'm not so sure about that.
No, I wouldn't be saying that with Marcus Talley and Colton Smith on the floor yet here. But Delaney has a great chance to take this to a 6-point advantage if he can make both free throws.
He gets 2. It's his first 2 attempts of the night. He has 10 points, and his first toss is in. No doubter, he is 68% on the year. Mock Mayen, who hit an incredible leaning left-handed scoop on a drive to beat the third quarter buzzer, back in for BV. A 5-point lead with 18 seconds left. Delaney stares down his second free throw, couple dribbles, and in and out, pinballs out. Smith the rebound. It's still a 5-point game. Here come the Colonels. Smith right of the key, hounded by Mayen to Talley. Talley driving the left rails, tries to bank it from 7 feet, missed. Hinker the rebound, fouled on his way up on the putback. The clock stops with 5.8 remaining. Brandon Valley up 5, the foul on Mayen.
Now, this was really well defended as you see the Vance Thompson vision replay. Brandon Valley made Talley take a tough one. And then I don't think it's a bad foul there for Brandon Valley. You don't want to give up an easy 2, and you put someone who's not a great foul shooter at the line.
And Hinker missed his first. 5.8 seconds remaining, a 41-36 Brandon Valley lead. Aiden Zur checks out. Grant Hennon checks in for Brandon Valley. So the best the Colonels can do is cut this to 4 if Hinker makes it.
And just not enough time here for Mitchell.
Yeah, he intentionally misses it. The rebound goes to Hennon, and the Colonels immediately foul him. 0.7 of a second ticked off on that exchange. 5.1 remaining in the 4th, and a 5-point Brandon Valley lead.
Yeah, credit Brandon Valley. I mean, their defense has just been terrific after the first quarter, John. I mean, Mitchell had 17 points. They're sitting here now at 36. They've only scored 19 points in the last 3 quarters.
First free throw is off the back iron for Hennon, a 70% free throw shooter. Brandon Valley students behind the bucket, bouncing up and down, chanting, "I believe that we just won." And it's going to take a miracle for the Colonels, down by 5 with 5 seconds left. Hennon drills his second, checks back out of the game, and now Craig Nelson sending in a bunch of subs. Mayen, a senior, checks out and gets a hearty applause from the crowd. Knutson and Delaney, both seniors, stay in. Smith across the timeline. 3-2, hoist up a 3. It's short at the buzzer, and the Brandon Valley Lynx comes storming from behind, down 13 after the first quarter to dominate the next three and beat number 2 Mitchell 42-36. It's the Colonels' third loss of the year to 16 wins. The Lynx improved to the same exact record, and we may have just seen a stellar glimpse into a state championship game in March. 42-36, Brandon Valley with the win. Brad Newitt has stepped onto the court, and Craig Nelson steps up to the mic. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt, and Craig, 17-4 after one. From here, it's pretty obvious. You went to a 2-3 zone, and things started working. What else made such a difference down the...
Yeah, they're a big physical team, so we just had to try something different, and luckily that worked for us, and we were able to rebound out of it a little bit better, which sometimes zones can struggle with. So just happy with our guys making some adjustments, fighting it out, toughing it out when it wasn't looking great early.
Hey, Craig, Landon Delaney has been your go-to guy all year. He had a little bit of a struggle in the first half. What about him keeps him in a game like this? Because I thought he was huge for you guys in the second half.
Landon competes as hard as any kid that I've ever coached and a lot of us have ever coached. And even when he's not scoring, he's going to be great defensively, and he's going to give us everything he's got. There was games early in the year where he only scored 8 or 10 points a game, and we were really balanced. And then we get that little stretch where he scores 25 a game, and I think our other guys were standing around watching him score too much instead of keeping on moving.
Your defense wasn't too shabby either. You held Marcus Talley to 10 points, Colton Smith to 9, well below their averages. And so, what does this do for your team, knowing that there's one regular season game, and then there's a Sodex 16, and then there's hopefully 3 more in Rapid City?
I don't know that it does a whole heck of a lot. I mean, we lost some of these games last, February, and then we saw the same teams again in March. And so I don't know. It maybe gets you a little bit better seed, but all that's kind of a mashup of good teams right now. So I don't know if it really matters. But our kids played well tonight. Our kids were tough, and that's more important to me than anything.
Well, we thank you for stopping by. Hey, turn around real quickly. Look up there. There's a camera up there. You can wave. Yeah. Craig Nelson, the 4th year Brandon Valley head coach, 13th year overall. After 9 years at Washington, the students have already celebrated with their players, and they waited for Craig to give
that was nice of them.
a hero's welcome as well. 42-36, Brandon Valley with a big win. Some replays, some stats, our American State Bank player of the game, all coming your way on the post game on what was a scintillating Avera Game of the Week. Fox Sports 98.1, radio, Outlaw Channel 13.2, television, and online tonight, metrosports.tv and dakotanewsnow.com.
Banking isn't just about financial products. It's about service and what we can do for you. Those personal touches are at the core of who we are at Central Bank. Decisions are made locally by people who get to know you. And while a lot has changed since 1877, we're still committed to our customers and to being the best bank in every community we serve. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Jackrabbits don't wait to see what the future holds. They build it. At South Dakota State University, the next generation's leaders are preparing to launch. They're focusing on growth, and they're reaching new heights of excellence across vital industries. SDSU is building something greater for South Dakota and the world. Join us.
Josh and Emily are visiting Emily's parents this weekend, where Josh will propose. He's nervous, but not about the ring. Well done, Josh. Well done. Chase is proposing to Ashley at the resort where they first met. Ashley was vacationing with friends, but Chase ended up being her best friend of all, plus some. Every diamond tells a story, but there's no story like yours. And there's no diamond like a Greenberg's diamond. Greenberg's Jewelers, a cut above the rest.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you. With a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.
Experience it all. Follow your academic and career goals and your love for the arts, music, and competition that thrills you. Learn from award-winning faculty and in classes where you are more than a number. Build lifelong friendships at game day experiences and in student organizations for all interests. At Augustana, you don't have to choose. Live and learn in the heart of South Dakota's largest city, where job opportunities, networks of professionals, and a hometown feel await you. Find your bold at Augustana University.
Starting with Thorst Bank in South Dakota was the easy part. Earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
Oh. A slugfest and a thriller tonight, giving us a taste of what might be to come in March in a rematch of last year's state championship game. Brandon Valley, for what it's worth, got its revenge. The fourth-ranked Lynx, trailing 17-4 after one quarter of play, outscore the second-ranked Mitchell Colonels 38-19. After that point, they doubled up Mitchell, and again, the turning point in the game felt like a 2-3 zone defense that Brandon Valley threw at Mitchell and just threw this entire game for a loop. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt on our post-game show. As you see, a large congregation of fans, parents, and players on the Brandon Valley gym celebrating a win that did not look like it was going to happen after one quarter of play. But boy, the Lynx got their act together as we take a look at some Vance Thompson Vision replays. John Gaskins with Brad Newitt.
Yeah, I think, Brandon Valley totally flipped this game with their change to the zone defense, and it worked beautifully. Mitchell couldn't crack it really in the second, third, or fourth quarters, and Mitchell held them down significantly to just 19 points total in those three quarters. And this is a Mitchell team that came in averaging over 60 points a game. So great defensive effort by the Lynx. But I think it was a little bit more than that, too. I mean, I thought Brandon Valley got a lot more aggressive offensively, started attacking more off the dribble, and did a much better job on the glass, right? That was one of our keys to the game. And I think Mitchell ended up probably losing that battle and, as a result, lost the game.
Neither team shot the ball very well.
No.
Brandon Valley, 15 of 43. Mitchell of 14 of 43 overall, so that they're both hanging around that 33-34% mark. Neither team made a lot of threes. 5 of 21 for the Colonels, just 3 of 15 from deep for Brandon Valley, but didn't end up needing that. Free throws a big difference. 9 of 14 for the Lynx to just 3 of 6 for Mitchell. And the foul trouble for Gavin Hinker. He had 3 by halftime, 4 by the end of the third quarter. That certainly helped Brandon Valley get more aggressive offensively.
It did. I think without him in the game, he was really doing a nice job of protecting the rim in the first quarter, but did pick up those fouls, and then Brandon Valley's able to take advantage of that. And, the bottom line, though, I think when Mitchell looks at this game, I mean, their star players, Colton Smith was 4 of 13, Marcus Talley 3 of 14, 7-27 for their best players. And, when they struggle, Mitchell's going to struggle. Any team would, and that was the case tonight.
And they were 3 of 15 collectively from deep as they were trying to chuck some up, getting back into a Brandon Valley lead that just continued to swell in the fourth quarter. It was 28 apiece, in fact, 28-26 Mitchell near the end of the third. The Lynx scored the last 6 of the third quarter and then just kept on moving. They scored another 5, and before you knew it, they had a multi-possession lead, and Mitchell got more desperate. Talley finishes with 10, Smith with 9, Hinker with 5 in that foul trouble. And meanwhile, the Lynx, their leading scorer, Delaney, was limited to 11, 4 below his average. The only other double-figure scorer, Austin Dowd, off the bench with 10, 9 points for Mock Mahan. A few other stats, 25 apiece on the boards, 20 turnovers for Mitchell off of 10 Brandon Valley steals. Brad, the Lynx turned it over 14 times themselves. So, I mean, we had almost as many turnovers, more turnovers for both teams than shots made. A look at our American State Bank Player of the Game tonight. It was a tough decision. We almost went with the player that had the most electrifying play of the game and certainly provided a major spark in Brandon Valley's comeback. But we're going to go with the Lynx player to watch from before the game.
Yeah, I thought Landon Delaney was terrific in the second half when his team really needed it. So Landon Delaney is our American State Bank Player of the Game. And, I mean, the seniors just had a terrific season for this Lynx squad, leading them in scoring. But his attack of the rim and finishing at the rim, I thought, was the difference in them getting some key buckets, quite frankly, that won them the game in the fourth quarter. And I thought Landon Delaney was able to do that. That pull-up right there, that turnaround there with the late shot clock might have been one of the daggers that really put the Lynx on top for good.
Yeah, 5 of 10 from the field, by the way. He was one of just 2 players who took 6 or more shots that made half of their shots tonight. It was that kind of the night. Brandon Valley does it mostly with defense, and Landon Delaney and one, monster highlight play to beat the third quarter buzzer from Mock Mayan. I encourage you strongly to watch the replay back, metrosports.tv,
yep.
on demand, or on our YouTube channel at Metro Sports TV. Or we can just do it now because we have a great technical producer in Chad Berger. Holy smokes.
That was cool.
To beat, he covered half the court in 4 seconds and had a tough angle shot to beat it.
Yeah, it was quick.
And indicative of the comeback that Brandon Valley provided for all of us tonight. Again, both teams are now 16-3. Mitchell's number 2 in the state, Brandon Valley number 4. Lincoln ranked number 1. Their only losses to Mitchell, and Harrisburg hanging around at number 3, just lurking in the woods somewhere to make some noise in March. Brad, this does it.
Yeah.
For the Avera Game of the Week on Metro Sports TV for this season.
Yeah, it's been a terrific football and basketball season. John, first of all, thanks for being our voice and doing a great job with it all year long. I've really appreciated working with you. And you mentioned Chad Berger. He's been our producer this year and has done a terrific job of giving us the sights, the sounds of what's been really great basketball. And we can't thank our partners at Dakota News Now enough, right? And KWSN Sports Radio. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you all these games. And, of course, our sponsors along to go with it. So thanks for all of you that have been watching. We look forward to hopefully having another great season after this next year to bring even more high school athletics action from the Sioux Falls area.
Couldn't say it any better, so I won't try. But you have been a pleasure to work with the last 4 seasons. It's been a thrill to work someone with over a decade of experience calling college games and making this whole thing go for some quality high school football and basketball telecasts here in the metro area, a place so hungry and supportive of prep sports, and we try our very best to give the fans what they deserve.
Yeah, and it's been great to see it grow, and we thank you, the fans, for watching, and like I said, it's just been a terrific ride here. We want to keep it going.
Big thanks to our sponsors as well, and a reminder here on Fox Sports 98.1 Radio, we'll have a doubleheader on Friday night as Rapid City Stevens visits Sioux Falls, Washington to close out the regular season. We will likely have SODAC 16 games next week, Thursday for the girls, Friday for the boys, and then all 7 championship round games of the state tournaments, girls and boys, back-to-back weeks in Rapid City, all right here on Fox Sports 98.1. For Chad Berger, for all of our wonderful camera operators, and for Brad Newitt and our CEO of Metro Sports TV, Pat Schultz. And for the South Dakota Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, John Michaels, in our downtown Sioux Falls studios for Fox Sports 98.1, I'm John Gaskin saying good night, where once again, Brandon Valley beats Mitchell in a top 5 tilt, 42-36. In our Avera Game of the Week. Good night.
In nursing, where you work matters. At Avera, we build Team Green around you. With a culture that values and supports you. Leaders who listen and care about your success. And benefits to reward the great work you do. The grass is greener at Avera. So join Team Green. Learn more at avera.org/careers.